Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 4, Episode 3. And this is what divorce looks like with a narcissist. You see this picture right here above my head, this picture of Martel? This is what it looks like. It reminds me of that old drug campaign. Any of you old hats remember, there used to be a drug campaign talking about this is drugs and this is your brain on drugs. And it'd be frying, the eggs would be frying in a frying pan. This is what Martel looks like. This crying and sobbing and putting your head down and realizing I am fried. This narcissist, Martel, isn't getting any better. It's so deeply ingrained in him. I'm not even sure if you can reverse this for real. I don't know. Some psychologists might can dip in here and tell me, is narcissism even reversible? Because this man is in for a long, hard life living with this mental illness that he's got. He actually planned a book signing on the weekend when he doesn't even have the kids. A book signing for people who wrote a book, kids who wrote a book. He planned a book signing when the kids aren't even going to be with him. Who does that? He planned it all around his schedule, what he wanted to do, and to be damned with what the kids were doing with their mother, to be damned with what Melody had planned, to be damned with what the judge said on what are your weekends and the days you get. This is what it looks like to be divorced and trying to co-parent with a narcissist. They care nothing about anyone else. They care all about themselves. And then what they do is they have the audacity that when things don't go the way they want, they blame the other person. And that's what he attempted to do here. He attempted to blame Melody as if she was the mean mother and as if the mother was being petty and mean and all these other kind of things, and didn't bring the kids to the book signing. Had the nerve to tell the people showing up, well, I hope they show up, but their mother's got them. Like she done kidnapped her own kids. This is a mess. Martel's manager tried to tell him that she don't feel like he's a safe space. I know he's not a safe space, because once you get bit by this dog for the 14 years that Melody has got bit by him, why the heck does she want to continue to get bit by him? Melody, keep your boundaries clear and firm, just like you did. I'm with Melody. I don't know why this man would think people are going to bend over backwards to accommodate him. Like he's the most important thing in the world. What he wants is the most important. What he says goes. What works best for him should work best for everybody else. Those days are over. And this Martel right here, he better start getting used to it. One lady that came to his book signing told him, welcome to divorce. She should have added welcome to divorce, especially when you a narcissist like you are, Martel. Martel booking a book signing for kids for a children's book, and there ain't no children present to read the book. This is stupid. It's almost as stupid as a person who doesn't drink coming out with a wine line, a wine label. That's just as stupid too. How are you going to tell me you got the best wine and you don't even drink wine and able enough to sample other wines? How am I going to know if your wine is really good when you don't have nothing to compare it to because you don't drink wine? And then to say the only wine he does drink is some wine that he and Melody used to drink. So now you basing your whole new business venture off of a memory with Melody again? Boy, take a look at this picture. Martel and this wine line. I don't know where he even got this idea from. Yeah, it's cute. He named it after his mother, and he had the little wine tasting with his mama, and she was drinking that wine like it was Casamigos tequila. She wasn't sipping it. She was taking shots of it down in it. Girl, slow down. Then also on this episode, they still going back, and Maurice wants apologies from Marceau. Everybody's talking about who deserves an apology. But you know who everybody needs the apology from? This guy right here. Because he was the one that started all the mess. He was the one that brought his mistress on a boys' weekend, period. So if he hadn't brought his mistress on a boys' weekend, none of this stuff between Marceau and Maurice and pictures posting when Coleslaw was present would even be happening. Martel and Maurice are up here blaming each other and asking for apologies from each other. But the real person they need to be asking an apology from is this guy right here, Martel, because he's the one that put everybody in a compromising position. Let me tell you, if I went out on a girls' weekend trip and I had spent thousands of dollars to go wherever they went, I don't know if they went to Atlanta, I think that's where they went. If I had bought me a plane ticket or paid for some gas and a hotel room and I'm having a good time, and then all of a sudden my girlfriend brings her lover guy up there and I know she's married, I'm going to be pissed too. But you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to waste my money and go home. I know people are talking about, well, Maurice and Martel should have gone home. Why would I go home? I spent all this money on this trip. I'm not going home. Now, I might not want to have anything to do with that man she done brought up there, and I might tell her she shouldn't have done it, but I'm not going to pack up my bags and leave because of what they did. So all this shenanigans on who did what, the real problem is this guy right here, because he brought someone to a place that he should have never done. But once again, a narcissist, they don't care about what it does to other people, what type of position it puts them in. All they care about is themselves and getting their needs met. Then Martel meets Maurice and Marceau at Black Lounge. And Martel says, well, you know what? I do want to apologize for laughing at the picture, because at first I thought it was humorous, but then I thought I shouldn't do that. And then Maurice is like, oh, well, thank you, Martel, for the apology. What? He apologizing for the wrong thing. The apology should be for bringing coleslaw to the party. So the fact that this is an issue altogether. Maurice, you asking for the wrong apology. And the apology you asking for ain't even worth the paper it's printed on, because do you know how many times Martel has apologized to Melody and everyone else? And that apology was worth nothing. So you hold on to an apology that ain't worth nothing. You know, a lot of people may be mad at Marceau, but you know what? And sometimes I don't agree with Marceau. I definitely agree with him on that trip to Africa. But this right here about, does he need to apologize? No. I also believe the same thing, Marceau. I'm on your side for once. Because here's the problem. First of all, I agree with him. I told you the only reason he posted that picture was because Maurice left him out to dry and tried to pin like he wasn't at that event or he has never been around coleslaw. Marceau was honest. He was saying, yeah, I've been around her. I've seen them around each other. Maurice tried to pretend like he wasn't around her. No, he was around her, so he did lie on that reunion show. And so Marceau posted the picture because Marceau said, you're not going to make me look up here like I'm the only one that's been around her. You've been around her too, Maurice. So I'm not mad at Marceau. And Maurice wants the apology from Marceau. The apology he should be getting is from two people who really caused the problem. The first problem is Martel, because he brought that girl around when he shouldn't. And the second apology is what that girl said on Instagram and all the other social media, saying that he was sleeping with the linebacker. That had nothing to do with Marceau. So Maurice is asking for the apology from the wrong people. But once again, this is the work of this person right here, the narcissist. They get to put their hands in everything, create all the mess and all the dirt, and then they want to put the blame on somebody else. I'm with Marceau. Marceau, it ain't your fault. Not at all. And Tiffany and Lou, I'm starting to figure out what's wrong with these two, because every time you turn around, they playing both sides of the coin, talking about they the victim. And you know what? I'm not with this. I'm not with it at all. I'm not really liking them one bit. First of all, they're all mad at Marceau about how Marceau told them to stay out his marriage and stay out his business. I would be doing the same thing. I don't have no kind of relationship with you for you to be talking about my marriage and telling me whether my marriage is going to work. I'm with Marceau. You throw a match on my marriage, I'm going to burn your house down. I say the same thing, especially with some people who don't have no business commenting on my marriage that don't even know me. You may know of me. You may have seen me around this little old Huntsville. We might have run into each other, but that don't mean you get the rights to be all up in my marriage and comment on my marriage in front of my face. Absolutely not. That ain't the same thing that you seen me and you know me. We ain't good friends like that. I'm with Marceau. Keep your opinions to yourself. And then Lou starts talking about he didn't like Marceau's reaction and what he says, because he says, well, if you're trying to build a relationship with a person, that's not the way you should act. Well, wait a minute. Are you friends or are you not friends? Because now you're talking about you trying to build a relationship. See, before you said you was friends with them, so you thought you had the right to say those things. Now you're saying you're actually trying to build a relationship with them. So which one is it, Lou? Are you trying to build a relationship or are you already friends? Because if you're trying to build a relationship like you're talking about, then you was out of bounds. You overstep boundaries completely. And once you overstep boundaries, you don't get the right to choose how a person reacts. You don't get that right because you didn't give them the courtesy in the beginning to ask what their boundaries was. You just stepped over them. So now that you stepped over them, you know what? You don't now get to dictate how they react. See, Lou and Tiffany, they always want to be the victims. And just like Tiffany retold that story with Stormy and everything, I didn't see Stormy going in that hard on Tiffany. Maybe they edited it out. I just saw her ask one or two questions and then Tiffany got a little smart and then Stormy got up and walked away and called her a B. I did see that. But all this badgering and stuff that Tiffany said Stormy did to her, we didn't see that on camera. So maybe they edit that part out. Or maybe Tiffany is telling the story a little bit differently, making herself seem like the victim, just like she and her husband like to do. They always the victim. They don't never see the parts they do. They just think they're innocent over here with their hands behind their back and people just punching them in the face. Girl, no. But here go this guy right here teaching Lou and them the rules of the ropes of a narcissist. And that is, you can do whatever you want and then you can complain about how people react to you. That's this guy's rules. And he's teaching Tiffany and Lou the same thing, that they can pop off, say anything, do anything they want, and then nobody can come back on you and say nothing. And then if they do, it's all their fault. They're the ones with the problem. But you ain't got no problems. They learning from the wrong person. They need to stop listening to this man right here. Maurice is finally taking Kimmy on a honeymoon 3.5 years later. That's a mess. You making all this money. You talking about you never had no time to go on a honeymoon. I'm happy he's finally taking her. But you know what? Maurice needs to do better in this marriage. 3.5 years to wait for a honeymoon? That's ridiculous. I know we had COVID and everything, so maybe that's what set it back a little bit. We had COVID going on for at least 2 years. So I'm sure that delayed everything. But 3.5 years, that's a long damn time to wait for a honeymoon. It ain't even a honeymoon no more. This is anniversary. This is an anniversary trip. You know, Marcel came back from that Africa trip and I wasn't down with that Africa trip at all. Still ain't down with it. And poor Tisha trying to figure out how she gonna get back to Africa now that Maurice has been. But you know what? Maybe he went there and did get a little bit of sense, because he's talking some sense in this episode. Finally, he decided he's going to spend some time with the kids. He's starting to figure out that money ain't everything. Building generational wealth ain't everything if you lose the time. Thank you, Marceau. A lot of people need to hear that message out here, because people out here trying to stack a bunch of money and they missing a lot of moments in time in their life with their family, their kids, and everybody else, all for the love of money. Wealth is time. Wealth ain't some new Tesla, some new Mercedes Benz. Wealth is time. That is the most valuable commodity out here, is time. There's only 24 hours a day. There ain't no more time being made out here, so it is valuable. Tisha told Marceau, thank you for spending this time with me and the kids and doing s'mores. And Marceau's like, you don't have to thank me for that. She's like, well, shoot, I got to get used to this. I am saying thank you because I ain't never seen it before. You right about that, Tisha. So I really hope this new leaf, this new Africa revelation that Marceau had, I sure hope it sticks. It looks good on him. I hope he keeps it. But there go Tisha bringing up the secret apartment again, the rumors about the secret apartment. She needs to let all this stuff go, because at this point in time, like Marceau said, you know what, if people have my pictures of my truck in front of an apartment that so-called was a secret apartment, go ahead and release them. Go ahead and do it. But all this living, waiting for the boogeyman to come, Tisha needs to let this go. She needs to stop living in fear, waiting for the boogeyman. And I'm with Marceau. I don't want to talk about this no more. I wouldn't want to talk about it either if I was Marceau. All these rumors about he's supposed to have a kid that's 5 years old that can walk and talk. Well, where's the kid? Show him. But I'm not going to keep living my life talking about something that's not real. And if he believes it's not real, then I'm with him. Let's not talk about it. If it's real, then somebody else needs to show the kid. Bring him up so we can get over this. All this stuff was part of this guy right here. See, he never wanted to take responsibility for what he did, so he wanted to bring a lot of other people in the mess. He and that little coleslaw that he's with, these are the people that get out here and say, you know what, let me take the heat off me and put it on other people. Everybody got things they done. Everybody got things that's not right about them. But when people like this use those moments of opportunity so they can take the heat off themselves and put it on other people, that's the problem. Not that other people do things wrong. This is the problem right here. See, this person right here, he's the arsonist. He's the one that starts the fires. But then what he wants to do is, after the fire started and the house done burned down, he wants to blame other people for, oh, well, you didn't have no smoke detector. You didn't have no fire extinguisher. You're right. We didn't have a smoke detector. We didn't have a fire extinguisher. We didn't do everything right. But we're not going to take our eye off the ball. And what the ball is you. You're the one that's setting the fires out here. I don't know why anyone is friends with this guy right here. I wouldn't be friends with him or nothing. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him, because one thing you know about this guy right here is the minute that he gets into any kind of trouble, he's going to turn it around and put it back on you, because he doesn't want any of the heat, any of the negative eyes or anything looking at him. I wouldn't have nothing to do with him. If you haven't seen my videos on Ready to Love or Put a Ring on Them, here they are right here. Be sure to check them out, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.